Welcome, welcome. You're listening to the Drink a Little podcast where we talk about exploring the world of wine and spirits while not letting it take over your life. My name is Kelly Doherty. I'm a joyful child of God and a certified life coach. I'm also a wine educator and wine and spirits brand designer. I'll show you how you can navigate your relationship with alcohol and how that mindset spills over into the rest of your life. We'll learn about the world of wine and spirits together, all while bolstering your confidence that you can have boundaries around alcohol and live your most amazing life. So, how this works is we taste a little wine at the top of each episode, and then we see where that leads us in the world of not over drinking, and especially during the holidays. So, this holiday, we are talking about Veuve de Vernay. And we talked about this word Veuve in episode 3. It means widow. And we tasted the Veuve Clicquot, which you will see with the traditional orange label. You see that in a lot of promotions and a lot of movies. It's the classic. And it's a fascinating episode. And I have to admit, I thought this was the same producer. But even though it says Veuve in a very similar font, this is a completely different producer, and here we're actually tasting an ice rosé that is a demi-sec, and we'll talk about that in a little bit when we do the tasting. Now, this is actually made in France, but it is not a champagne because it's not made in the Champagne region of France. So I would expect that it's not going to be quite as complex, not as many layers, not as many different flavor characteristics, and I would expect it to be a lower price point. Still exceptional quality, but this is simply not a champagne that was made in the true traditional method. So on its label, it's called sparkling because it will be made by probably adding CO2 bubbles. So the bottle on this wrap is gorgeous and a departure from the classic French champagnes on purpose to show it's supposed to be fun and vibrant, which is so perfect at this time of year. So this is a limited edition look, and it actually changed from when I put it first in the fridge. It was just a full body wrap, and it kind of had blue icicles all over it, snowflakes. And now that it's been in the fridge and it's gotten to be very chilled, you can see it's got a pink um, icicles um, around the product name. The actual freshness label has turned to a bright pink snowflake, and the words "enjoy" across the top have told you, "Hey, it's chilled. It's ready to be enjoyed." So that was a wonderful surprise when I just pulled it out of the fridge just now. So let's give it a taste. It's got a little bit more color to it. It's a ice rosé. So let's see what's going on here. This is so fresh and vibrant. It's got red fruit, I'd say raspberry mostly, a little bit of citrus, some floral. And it's a blend, a Syrah, Cinsault, and Grenache. And when I said demi-sec earlier, that means half dry. So it's a medium sweet wine, light on alcohol. It's at 11%. And it's got a beautiful pink color in the glass, just bringing a little bit of extra joy to the season. So this is perfect for going into Christmas, going into New Year's, just very approachable, very fun, not so serious. And I think what people love about the bubbles in any sparkling or champagne is that you can see the energy in the glass. You could see happiness, you could see movement and joy. And you can literally watch the bubbles from the bottom of the glass all the way in a line move up the top. And I used to just love to watch them almost like they're at a lava lamp. But these bubbles, when they're at the top, then they're released and they're gone forever. So basically, this I want to just appreciate that someone in olden days has figured out how to do this naturally, and that someone in modern times has figured out how to do this with CO2, a natural gas, and just do it on demand. It blows my mind, and it speaks to the feeling of a season where I'm trying to come to things with a lot more childlike wonder and amazement, just that this thing gets to exist and I get to experience it in this time. So this is really like the snow globe of the holidays for me. It's interactive and we get to taste it. So we are running up to New Year's where there's a lot of bubbly going around. And the other thing that's going around is we all start to think about the next year. Even if you're not a New Year's resolution person, which I'm really not, most people start to think about the next year, think about what they would change, what they would like for their future. And they do some future thinking, some future dreaming. And I picture each of these bubbles just like as a dream. And those dreams are really energy. Those bubbles are energy, moving and bobbing along, running into each other. Those beautiful bubbles can represent our beautiful thoughts, our beautiful dreams as they come to the surface. Sometimes they come to fruition, sometimes they disappear. And when I think of it as energy, really everything is energy, right? But this is such a visual experience of energy when it's at its most vibrant. And then when it is released and let go into the atmosphere, I think of those energy bubbles each as some experience I'm going through or some interaction with someone. And what do I want to be like? What do I want to spend my energy on? And if you think about the last year or the last month or the last couple days of what you've been using your energy, burning your energy on. And I can think of for sure myself, there's times I've been burning energy thinking about things I can't change, thinking about little frustrations and little things that I would just like to be different. And I think we need to look at these things where we want them to be different and put those bubbles of energy into creation as opposed to frustration. And it is really hard. It's really challenging to create instead of complain. It's really hard to create instead of judge. And I love this as a visual reminder. I'm a very visual person. I love these bubbles. It's a visual reminder where I can look at them and think, well, I wasted that energy and that's okay. And I forgive myself, but I don't really want to repeat that one again. So I think that um, a frustration is a tiny thousand little things that maybe went wrong in 2023. And we don't need to take those with us to 2024. They can just come to the surface and we let them go. We really amplify them when we give them more energy and make them bigger bubbles. And I want to keep my little energy bubbles moving and positive and vibrant. And I want to have so many of those bubbles tantalizingly dancing in my glass of life that they overpower or obscure any of those hurts and frustrations, all those things that we know are going to happen along the way. But we don't need to focus on them. We don't need to let those bubbles keep building up. So I know if you looked at the title of this and said, Let It Go, that it's truly, the song, I'm sure. And I'm not going to sing it for you right now, thankfully, but that Let It Go Princess song can resonate so much if we actually let it. And I know it sounds like it's easy. It's not easy for me. We need to allow these things to move through us naturally, come up and out and be released. And a lot of times when I'm talking to people and they're over drinking because they're angry or they're frustrated or they're hurt or they're shutting all of those feelings inside because they're having normal feelings that all humans feel. And then they're telling themselves that it's wrong. I shouldn't be feeling like this. I should hide. I should stuff it down. I should push that down inside of me. It's not safe to let that air bubble out. And it's like a balloon. You can push it down for only so long, but that balloon, that air bubble will always naturally come back up. It will come out. And if you keep pushing it down and don't let things move through you, it's going to be bigger and messier as opposed to these tiny bubbles that are just moving through us, There's good feelings, there's bad feelings, there's frustration, there's love, there's compassion, there's hope and peace, there's anger, there's danger, there's discomfort. There's a lot of discomfort bubbles. Please don't pretend that you look at someone else and they're immune from those things you're feeling. They're not. They're just the outer shell. Maybe the outer shell of their wine looks fancy like this wine, but they're still having all this energy bubbles inside of them. And we can also look to someone that we see as creating this amazing energy, creating amazing bubbles in their lives. And what I love about this sparkling wine is even the most beautiful, amazing bubbles come to the surface and they disappear. Everything shifts and changes. And I see people get stuck in a place where they think nothing's ever going to shift or change, but there is always change on the horizon. These bubbles of energy are always moving. And that is something to be thankful for, and not to try to cling on to any one of these bubbles. I can't stop the bubbles in this glass. And if I just let it sit here and I don't enjoy it, it's going to go flat. So I'm wishing you an amazing bubbly 2024 where you can vibrantly create the energy you want in any situation. And I'm here to help you figure out how to do that for you personally. And when things are going wonky, think back to this glass in this visualization of these bubbles and find the joyful ones, find the hopeful bubbles, and don't spend energy focusing in on the frustrating ones and the angry ones. Let those bubbles pass through you and let them escape out the top of the glass. That is what I have for you on this wonderful week, my friends. Go out and create your life on purpose. And next week, we are going to stay in France. We're going to move over to Burgundy and taste a white Burgundy called Montagne Premier Cru. And so I'm excited to share Montagne and what that means to me and what that means literally in French. And if you are working on how to bring more bubbles and more energy into your life, I do teach to a deeper level. And I have a one-on-one coaching program tailored to your needs where we cover how to stop over drinking, how to love yourself for all the right reasons, and emotional well-being. You can go to kellydoherty.com/cheers to learn more, or DM me on Instagram and I will let you know how to learn more. So thankful for you all. Have a beautiful, beautiful week.